Hello, good evening, everyone. Yes, can someone tell me which sum should we start from today? Okay, thanks, Deepika. Deepika is telling us we have to start from question number 7. I think question 7 we did last time. You're supposed to start from 8th sum, right? Yes. Okay, let's start with the 8th question. Okay, I'll read the question. Raju sold a bicycle to Amit at 8% profit. Amit repaired it, spending rupees 54. Then he sold the bicycle to Nikhil for 1134 with no loss and no profit. Find the cost price of the bicycle for which Raju purchased it. Okay. Let's understand the sum. They're saying Raju sold a bicycle to Amit at 8% profit. Raju is selling it to Amit 8% profit. Amit repaired it, spending rupees 54. So when Amit got the bicycle, he spent rupees 54 on it. Then he sold the bicycle to Nikhil for 1134. He's selling it to Nikhil for rupees 1134 with no loss and no profit. Find the cost price of the bicycle for which Raju purchased it. We want to understand that even Raju must have purchased that bicycle from someone. Question is, how much did he purchase it? Okay. So this is what the question is. So let us try and understand from Amit's point of view. One second. Yeah. So let's understand from Amit's point of view. Okay. Now the question is, we know Amit has sold it to Nikhil for 1134. And they're telling us he did not earn any profit or suffer any loss. So can anybody tell me how much did he buy it for? And the reason for it? In the message, if somebody can answer. The question is, how much did Amit buy the bicycle for? If anybody wants to answer verbally, they can raise their hand. Okay. Nobody's raising their hand. Okay, fine. Fine. So Amit, if I'm talking from Amit's point of view, we know his selling price, I'm writing it as SP, is rupees 1134. And if I ask his cost price, Selling price means how much he sold it to Nikhil for. We know it is this much. But his cost price, that means how much he spent on the bike, is, let us say, X we are taking it for now, okay? Plus, he also spent rupees 54 on repairs. So even that will come as a part of cost price. So selling price, he sold it for 1134. He bought it for, from Raju, he bought it for rupees X. But after buying it also, he spent so much money, 54 rupees. So I'm taking it as he spent X plus 54 on the bicycle. Okay. So when I say that there is no profit or no loss, can I say both are equal? Selling price and cost price, both are equal? Message me yes if you understand this. No profit and no loss means how much ever he bought it for, that much only he sold it for. So message me yes if you understand this concept that CP and SP both are equal. Okay. So if I write SP is equal to CP, that means in place of SP, I'll write 1134 is equal to cost price. I'll write it as X plus 54. So if I want to find the value of X, can someone directly, can you all message me the value for X, what it will be? Take 54 on the other side and subtract it. Devin from Saidam, wrong answer. Try again. Yes, Shreya Raichan, correct. Shreya Raichan, correct answer. Yes, Omkar from Chembur, correct. Amberlin, correct. See, 1134, taking 54 on the other side, from here plus, it will go there, become minus. So when I do 1134 minus 54, 4 minus 4 is 0. I'll carry forward. It will become 13 minus 5, which is 8. 10 will remain as it is. So X is rupees 1080. Okay. Nishita, what have you written? Yes. Aikani, Savni, Nicandro, Nishita. Yes, correct. All answers are correct. Good. Okay. So this tell me X. Can I say Amit bought it from Raju for this much rupees X and X we got it at 1080? So when I'm talking about Raju now, if I give the heading as Raju, out of CP and out of SP, which is going to be rupees 1080? Is cost price going to be 1080 for Raju, or is selling price going to be 1080 for Raju? Yes, Devin, correct. Again, 1080 is what? Is it SP or is it CP? Students, Raju is selling it for 1080 or is he buying it for 1080? Deepika, wrong. See, I've written X is here. He's giving it for this much money. Giving it means selling it for 1080. So this is going to be rupees 1080, not cost price. Okay. They're also telling us that Raju has made a profit. So now what I'll do, since I've already used X, I will say the cost price is Y. Okay. So now tell me, for profit, should I do SP minus CP? I'm sure you'll have done, we have discussed profit, loss and everything in the first term. If you'll remember, profit is SP minus CP or CP minus SP. What is profit? SP minus CP or CP minus SP? Devin, wrong. Yes, Shreya, correct. See, profit means he's selling it for more, buying it for less. If you buy for 100 rupees and sell for 120 rupees, that is then 20 rupees is the profit. So it is SP minus CP. SP minus CP. So from here, if I see SP is 1080 minus cost price is Y. So that is profit. Okay. So now what we can do is we can use this information. They have told us 8% profit. We have discussed this before. Profit percent. The formula is profit upon CP into 100. We have discussed this formula in the first term. Profit percent they are telling us is 8. So I'm going to write here 8. Profit we have calculated this much. You'll write 1080 minus Y. CP we have taken it as Y. So I'll write Y into 100. Okay. Okay, just give me a second. Yes, sorry. Let's continue. Yeah. So all you have to do is solve it now. What I'll do is I'll take Y on the other side. So Y is dividing here, it will go there and multiply. So I'll get 8Y is equal to. If I open this bracket, I'll get 108000. Two zeros got multiplied to this. Minus, if I multiply 100 with Y, I'll get 100Y. Okay. This minus 100Y, if I take it to the left side, it will become 8Y plus 100Y is equal to 108000. If I add them, I'll get 108Y is equal to 108000. 108, that is multiplying. If I take it to the right and divide, I can cancel 108 ones, 108 ones. So the three zeros remain. So I'll get Y as rupees 1000. So that means Raju bought the bicycle for rupees 1000. And that becomes our answer. That is what they had asked. Okay. Let me open the text. Okay. So if I look at the last line, they're asking us find the cost price of the bicycle for which Raju purchased it. The final answer will be the cost price for the bicycle for Raju is rupees 1000. Message me yes if you have understood the sum. It's a little difficult sum. So in case you all want to, you all can watch the recording again. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. The ninth sum. Okay, I'll just erase this. Okay. The ninth sum. So the cricket player scored 180 runs in the first match and 250 runs in the second match. Find the number of runs he should score in the third match so that the average runs in the three matches be 230. Okay. We will discuss what is average, but first let us write what all are his runs. So runs, I'm going to write for first match, second match, and third match. Okay. So in the sum, in the first match, he is scoring 180 runs. In the second match, 257 runs. In the third match, we need to find. So let's say it is X. So these are the runs that they are scoring. And they have told us the average runs should be 230. Now, average means to find average, all we have to do is whatever number of values they have given, we'll add the 3 and divide by how many values are given. For example, only if these two, we have to find average of two matches, then I'll do 180 plus 257 upon, since I'm adding only 2 matches ka runs, I'll divide it by 2. For same logic, here, if I'm talking about average runs for 3 matches now, I will add the runs of all 3 matches, that is 180 plus 257 plus X. And now I'll divide it by 3. Why 3? Because 3 matches we are discussing. If we were discussing a 4th match, then we would add runs 4 times, whatever the runs of the 4th match, and divide by 4. Okay. Acha. Now, average runs, they have only told us is 230. So I'll write 230 over here is equal to 180 plus 257. So for 180 plus 257, 0 plus 7 is 7, 8 plus 5 is 13, and the total is 4. 1 plus 1 plus 2. So 437 plus X upon 3. Okay. This 3 that is dividing, I can take it here and multiply. So I'll get 230 into 3 is equal to 437 plus X. If I multiply 230 into 3, 3 zeros are 0, 3 threes are 9, 3 twos are 6. So I'm getting 690 is equal to 437 plus X. Fine. Okay, students, quickly finish the sum for me. Tell me what is the value for X. Yes, Param Doshi was first one to answer. Yes, Savni, correct. Others also waiting for your answers. Yes, Amberlin, correct. Nicandro, Deepika. If Nishita. Devin, correct. Good. So to find x, all we'll do is 690. 437, if I take it, that will become minus 437. And if I subtract it, I'll get 250. So therefore, I can say the runs in the third match was 250. Or the batsman scored 253 runs in the third match. Okay. Fine. I hope everyone has understood this sum. Message me yes if you understood. Then we'll go to the last question. Okay, great. Fine. Now the last sum is age-related sum. We have done age-related sums last time also. Okay, I'll read the sum. It says Sudhir's present age is 5 more than 3 times the age of Viru. Anil's age is half the age of Sudhir. If the ratio of sum of Sudhir's and Viru's age to 3 times Anil's age is 5:6, then find Viru's age. Okay, so slightly like there are quite a few characters in this, so it might sound confusing. So what we'll do is let us try and write everything in form of equation. Like they're telling us Sudhir's age. So for Sudhir, I'm going to write S. Sudhir's age is equal to 5 more than 3 times Viru's age. 5 more means plus 5. More means plus 5. We'll always write the number later. 5 more than 3 times Viru's age. So 3 times Viru's age, 3 into 3. Okay. For now, I'm writing S is Sudhir's age and V is Viru's age. That is not in the sum, but we will convert to just one variable. Okay. Okay. Later, they are also talking about in the second line about Anil. So I'm writing A for Anil. Anil's age is half the age of Sudhir. So half the age of Sudhir. If the ratio of sum of Sudhir's and Viru's age, ratio means upon. If the ratio of the sum means addition of Sudhir's age and Viru's age. Sudhir's age, for now I'm writing as. Viru's age, I'm writing V. 2. See, whenever they say ratio of and 2, whatever they write before 2, that is a numerator. So whatever they spoke about before 2, I've written it as numerator. Whatever they say after 2, this is the numerator. Whatever they say after 2, that is becomes the denominator. So here, wherever they say 2, so after 2, whatever is there, I'll write below. So they are saying to 3 times Anil's age. 3 times Anil's age means 3 into Anil's age means equal to, and 5:6 actually means is the same as 5 upon 6. So I'll write here 5 upon 6. Okay. So 3 information they have given us: 1, 2, and 3. So now the question is, what do we take as x? If you notice in the question, they're saying find Viru's age. So we can start by saying let whoever age we want, that only we'll take it as x. So let Viru's age be x. So now let us talk about everyone here. Okay, starting with V, we know is x. So here, wherever V is there, I'll write x. Sudhir's age, where I'm talking about, it will be 3 into V. V, if we've taken it as x plus 5. So in place of Sudhir, we'll write 3x plus 5. Okay, for Anil was half into S. And what is S? S is this thing, if you notice. S is this thing only, this. So in bracket, I'll write 3v plus 5, which will convert to half into 3x plus 5. So now we have gotten Viru's age, we have gotten Sudhir's age, we have gotten Anil's age, and everything has only x in it, no other variable. Okay. Okay, let's use all that information in this ratio now. That means wherever s is there, I'll write this. That is 3x plus 5. Viru's age, we know is this. So I'll write plus x upon 3 times Anil's age. Anil's age we know is this. So we'll write it as half into 3x plus 5 is equal to 5 upon 6. Okay. If this looks complicated, so let us simplify this. Let's add the like term. Like x and 3x I can add. 3x plus x is 4x plus 5 upon, I can multiply these two also, 3 into 1. 3 into 1 will become 3 upon 2. In bracket, I'll write 3x plus 5 is equal to 5 upon 6. Okay. Okay, first we have two fractions which are equal. So let's cross multiply. Let's take 6 here. So I'll get 6 into 4x plus 5. And let's take this to 5. So it'll become 5 into this whole thing, this denominator. 3 upon 2 into 3x plus 5. Okay. Also now, here also we have a denominator 2. So let's take this also over here. So if it goes and multiplies with 6, 2 6, I'll get 12. Bracket 4x plus 5. Here we have 5 into 3 as 15. So I'll get 15 into 3x plus 5. Let's open the brackets. 12 into 4 is 48x. And 12 into 5 is 60. 15 into 3x is 45x. And 15 into 5 is 75. Okay. I can take all the x's in the left and all the numbers to the right. So I'll get 48x. 45, let's take it to the left, will become minus 45x. 75 is already in the right. Plus 60 goes to the right, becomes minus 60. This subtraction will give me 3x. This subtraction will give me 15. So here if I divide, I'll get x is equal to 15 upon 3, which if I cancel is 5. This is Viru's age. Okay. So Viru's age is 5 years. Calculation looks complicated, but follow the steps exactly how I told you. See, take 6 there and take 6 here and the fraction here, this denominator. Then again, if I saw extra denominator, I took that also here. So now in this step, there is no denominator, no fraction. It will become easy to solve them. Okay. Message me yes if you've understood this question. All the 3 sums that we discussed today, I feel they are not easy. And if you all do not practice it by tomorrow or today, you all will forget it. So make sure by tomorrow it is practiced. See, now I think only one more chapter is remaining from my side, and that is compound interest. After that, the algebra section gets done. Once that is over, we'll revise these chapters, but revision, I'll only do it by where I will not be teaching. I will expect you all to learn and come, and we will discuss it. Okay. Chandan is saying 6th and 7th sum left. No, we have done 6th and 7th sum last time. Check the video once. If there is any doubt, let me know. Okay. Fine, students. I will see you all next time then. We'll start with compound interest. Okay. See you all. Bye.